The city of Evansville began a civic discussion on whether to replace or rebuild Roberts Stadium. Following a tourism study in 2006 and a consultant recommendation on the need for improved sports facilities in 2008, Mayor Winnecke and the City Council endorsed the recommendation to build a new arena in downtown Evansville. Last year, the downtown arena, now known as the Ford Center, opened its doors and has had approximately 500,000 people have attended 118 events. Recognizing the role of that facility in the overall revitalization of downtown Evansville, it is very important that our community support its continued success. While the Ford Center has served as a catalyst for excitement and growth, the question on the future of Roberts Stadium was left unanswered. As you know, the building was closed last fall and has only been used for storage. During this time, the city has had to maintain utilities and additional expenses to keep flood pumps operational at an estimated cost of about $152,000 since its closing in September of 2011. And while the future of the Roberts Stadium property still had not been decided, the city did appropriate $200,000 in the 2012 budget for the potential raising of the building, given the deteriorating conditions and obvious need for repairs, including major upgrades to ensure compliance with the American with Disabilities Act requirements. Before taking office, I took a proactive approach by appointing a Roberts Stadium task force to obtain further public input and to analyze the most viable ideas. Specifically, I charged the task force to evaluate possible renovation costs in a reuse, the ongoing operational expense associated with each of those most viable ideas, and finally, to determine the potential use of each of those ideas. There were 3 subcommittees that were formed based on over 600 ideas that were presented by the public. They were sports, entertainment, exposition, and parks. Renovation costs range from $3.75 million to $25 million, depending on the specific idea. Estimates of annual operating expenses range from $10,000 to $1 million annually, again, depending on the specific idea. As City Controller Russ Lloyd Jr. has concluded in his analysis, the task force had the difficult assignment of attempting to attach broad cost estimates to general ideas without details on specific plans and designs. In reviewing the proposals evaluated in the final report of the task force, our shared conclusion is that none of the projected Roberts Stadium rebuilds are a good financial option, short-term or long-term. While Roberts Stadium itself is the source, the product of many wonderful memories, I believe it is time to now recognize as a community that we need to embrace a new vision for this property that will create new and exciting memories for generations to come. We have inherited a unique opportunity here. It is an opportunity that we can seize for our city's families, for our young, and for the young of heart. During the task force public hearings and through comments received at the mayor's office and on the street, I have heard one consistent theme. The end use of the Roberts Stadium property should be something for everyone. With that as a backdrop, I come before you today with a recommendation that we stop spending the city funds by maintaining the facility in its current state. I propose that the city repurpose the Roberts Stadium property and use most of the 37 acres to enhance the green space and recreational opportunities that our city provides its citizens. Recognizing the historical and emotional connections to the existing building, I believe it is important to honor its memory and extend its legacy into the community. To start, I propose replacing 5,000 fixed seats at Metzger Amphitheater with current stadium seats and donating bricks from the original stadium structure to the University of Evansville Purple Aces Club to be sold as souvenirs. Furthermore, the heritage of the site can be retained by using former Mayor H.O. Roberts' name, Roberts Park, along with the construction of a commemorative piece of public art depicting and honoring the stadium. I further recommend that we liquidate the remaining assets inside Roberts Stadium, such as the basketball floor, the goals, scoreboards, and concession equipment. We estimate that the city can generate $150,000 to $200,000 from such a sale. The remaining scrap metal can be salvaged by the company hired to raise the stadium. As a result of extensive community input, it was clear that our city was lacking certain recreational opportunities. In addition, it did not make much sense to invest and reuse the building in a way that would compete with existing city and county assets. Looking forward, I asked the Parks Board to work with my administration to develop a multi-phase plan for this project. Ideally, elements of Roberts Park should include children and adult fitness areas, an outdoor skate bike park, a dog park, a lake, picnic areas, and additional walking and bike trails. It should be noted that a portion of the back parking space behind the stadium and behind the armory would be salvaged so that the EVSC playing fields can have appropriate parking for their facilities. A key component of this plan is a new pedestrian walkway over the Lloyd Expressway connecting to the state hospital grounds, which is already planned for construction in late 2013 and early 2014, utilizing a combination of state, local, and federal funds. In conjunction with this project, I believe that we should also make long-needed upgrades to existing features in adjacent Westman Park and connect all three properties. Preliminary estimates for these elements indicate that this work can be performed for approximately $6 million to $8 million and can be executed in phases over the next 3 years so as to not strain city finances in any 1 year. It is my request that the construction and implementation relies solely on proceeds from gaming revenues or other capital funds and not general fund dollars. Operationally, we will add resources as new phases of the park are complete. At the end of the day, I believe this proposal does create something for everyone and will further our efforts to energize Evansville. My vision for Roberts Park will allow families a place to exercise together with equipment for kids and adults, provide an outdoor skate park so skateboarders and bicyclists can enjoy a first-class facility in our city, a park where dog owners can let their pets run and exercise, additional trails for walking, and finally the connection, as I previously mentioned, linking the existing green space at Westman and the state hospital grounds with the new Roberts Park. This repurpose will allow the entire city access to a facility year-round versus other proposals that would create undue competition on existing city and county facilities and only be available for use on a limited basis. I urge you today to take this matter under advisement for a brief period so that you can fully digest it. I hope that you can place it on your agenda no later than your first meeting in July so that we can begin the next step in this process right away and obviously stop spending wasted money. Obviously, this has been a long process and a decision that our community has been waiting for some time. Although some in the community may be disappointed that the recommendation today did not include an indoor aquatics facility, it is not left off my radar and should be a topic of further community discussion. The financial impact for converting Roberts Stadium into this type of facility was projected as high as $25 million with an approximate annual operating cost around $800,000. It simply did not make sense at this location. In conversations with local competitive swimming advocates, it is believed that a new facility could be built for dramatically less, and I will commit today to continue to review those options and potential partnerships to make this a goal of our city. The reality of our situation today is that Lloyd Pool has a limited lifespan and the recent investments there will only suffice for so long. On a personal note, like so many others, I will always cherish the fond memories of Roberts Stadium, whether it was a memorable moment at a U of E game or one of the many annual events such as the Home Show or the Shrine Circus. Without question, this was a difficult yet necessary decision to make. Again, I'd like to express my gratitude to all the residents that participated in the process and brought forth ideas on how to move forward in this new chapter of our city's history. I'd also like to acknowledge the Roberts Stadium Task Force members, in particular Chairman Larry Steenberg, for their hard work on this project and the manner in which this public debate was facilitated by Leadership Evansville. It's my sincere hope that future community discussions will use the example set forth and invoke a new way to engage in constructive civil dialogue. I appreciate your time today, and again, I hope you take this under advisement for a brief period. Thank you.
We'll do that. And do any of the board members have a question for the mayor while he's here? I have two questions, one comment. I'm probably as excited about the fact that you're committed to replacing Lloyd Field as anything in the whole discussion today. I think that's been something that we've talked about for a long time here. So the other thing I want to ask, and this has come up several times in the past, but we believe at one time there was some money that was set aside for that walkway over the Lloyd Expressway, the time the expressway went through there. And this came up when we acquired the state hospital property. I didn't know if anybody ever found, I don't know where that money goes, but it was out there somewhere at one time. And
That funding is in place between a combination of state, local, and federal dollars.
Great, that's great. Questions, comments? I think unless something changes, our commitment would be to vote on this probably in 2 weeks at our next meeting, but we'll discuss that and see if that's enough time for everybody. And exactly what, we obviously can't vote on all of this at one time, but what part of this we're going to vote on. And so
Right.
forth. So we share your concern over spending money, and we'll try to get some answers as soon as we possibly can. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. It's not often the mayor shows up at the Parks Board meeting, so.